Coming up next, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Yaniv Reingewertz. Yaniv! Hey guys. Okay, so the mic is here, I see, so I can't move. Okay. So thank you all for coming. Thank you for your...
The mic comes out.
It comes out. Okay, it's the experience. Okay, so thank you very much all for coming. Okay, so I paid a few of you, but thanks anyway for the fact that your alternative cost was lower than what I could afford with, my modest salary. So we're going to talk about the economics of kids. It's a developing field. It's growing fast, and I expect many of you to join me in the effort to uncover, real truths about this field. And you might ask me why the economics of kids. So when I was younger, I was interested in the economics of women. Now I'm married now, so my wife told me there's nothing funny about women, or about marriage, or about our marriage. So I said, okay, never mind. I'm going to choose an easier target, right? Kids. They can't sue you, they can't hit you, and they can't cut part of your body when you're asleep. Okay, so much safer here. So let's start with talking about the macroeconomics of kids. So you'll see it's very similar to our own macroeconomics, the regular one. We have two approaches and they fight one another. So one approach, you can call it the Chicago School or whatever other name that you have, are thinking very seriously that the economics of kids is going down the drain very fast, and they have good reasons to think so. So kids have extremely low labor force participation. Don't get me started on this one, seriously. They have very low output. They don't produce anything, and when they do, you don't want it, seriously. They don't invest anything, okay? They pay no taxes. So clearly it's an economy that is going to hit a wall anytime soon. However, we have another strand of literature which is fighting the Chicago School. You can call it the neoclassic, neo-Keynesian models, whatever, DSG, and they're actually saying that the kids' economy is booming. Okay, it's not on a crisis; it's actually growing really fast. And again, they have their own excuses. The kids consume a lot, believe me. And there's no unemployment there, so it's like full employment, no unemployment at least, and they pay no taxes. Okay, so that's a very good economy, at least it sounds so. And of course they're very happy. Happiness surveys always, kids rank really high. They're not concerned about inflation, all these things. It's a great place to be. So how can we explain this puzzle? How is it possible? Who's right? So that's the first contribution that I made in the field. I think it's an important one. Aid. They get aid from us, from their parents, and that explains how come they can consume without producing too much. So we'll come back to aid afterwards. But let's stick with macroeconomics, and in macro we have the fiscal multiplier. So here we have the divorce multiplier. It's actually a double multiplier. So, kids of divorced families get twice the amount of candies. They ask for one, so the candy is the currency of the kids' economy, right? Makes sense. And they ask for a candy, and they ask one from each parent, and they get twice. Now, it doesn't stop there, because divorced parents are feeling really guilty. So, yeah, I'm gonna move. So they're feeling guilty for every candy that they ask for their mother or their father, they get 2. So it's actually a multiplier of 4. It's a great multiplier. Again, it's a growing economy according to New Keynesian. A 1 to 4 multiplier. Now some say that it can be even bigger. Think if the grandparents are divorced. I don't want to go there, but it can be really high. And some people say that in today's economy, even in married families, kids ask for one candy and they get much more. At least in America, they do. Okay, so some more macro. Are kids rational? Okay, the rationality question. There's some evidence to support that. I should do and then you can laugh. Okay. So I say yes. The rational. Maybe they maximize different things, right? They don't maximize, money or welfare. They maximize noise. They maximize my headache. That's for sure. It's been maximized really high. They maximize candies, TV, etc. Okay, so we talked a lot about macro. I don't want to, bore you. Maybe we have a lot of economists in the crowd or other fields. So there are a lot of contributions throughout the fields in economics that talk about kids. So in the growth literature, there's a great paper, The Growth of the Kids Economy, a Natural Experiment with a 9-Month Lag. It's a great paper. Now, also in development. Now, the trick in development, if you want to write a paper in development, it's very easy. All you need to do is put in the title the word Africa. Immediately it becomes a development. So, kids, evidence from sub-Saharan Africa. Now, when you put the sub-Saharan up, it gives a flavor. The sub-Saharan, that's even, that's a pure development. You can immediately see it. Okay, so behavioral. So it's the same thing, you only need one word, but of course not Africa, it's already taken by the development literature. So the word is effect, or anomaly, but effect. So the kids affect people ages 1 through 5 have behavioral issues. Surprise, surprise. And of course other fields, so environmental is tougher, kids they have a sticky output, we already know that. Try to deal with that. So no more kids. And finally, econometrics, identifying the random effect, kids with ADHD. Thank you. Okay, those are, I paid you to just 4 claps more than the other, don't need to push it. Okay. So we talked about many fields, but we want to focus on the kids economy, and if you want to focus, we need to talk microeconomics. So the microeconomics of the kids economy. And now the first model that we teach usually is the production possibilities frontier, but here it says consumption. Because, well, we know kids don't really produce that much, so we need to talk about the consumption side. So this is the consumption possibilities frontier for ages 5 through 10, and they can decide whether to eat more candies or to play, and that's a trade-off that they're facing, right? Candies or play. Now, when they become older, they have other trade-offs. When they're like teenagers, so it's TV or TV. And notice that watching TV can take more than 24 hours a day. Now, I don't know how they do that, but that's a promising direction for future research, if anyone is interested. Okay, so they become like slightly older. It becomes Facebook, and some of my colleagues suggest that this model also applies to undergrad students, including during microeconomics, right? Okay, so they consume a lot. They consume. How is that? How do they finance that? The consumption. This is their budget constraint, and well, they don't have any, right? It's aid. Now, so that's my second contribution, and it's new, and I have to thank Fred, the Federal Reserve of St. Louis. So, the problem in this line of work that, they want a lot of money, right? So, and I'm a parent, so that's a problem for me, not for them. I need to give them money. So Fred solved it for me. So, do you know what this is? This is shredded money. I took it from the Fed over here. They distributed money for free. Okay, I didn't pay for it. So this is shredded money. So next time my kids are going to ask for money, well, I'm just going to give it to them, right? No problem. I took another few bags, an economist. So I'm just going to give them the shredded money, and we'll see how. But for now, the solution is not there yet. So they still rely on aid. And that influenced their demand curve. Okay, so we go into demand. So this is the individual demand for iPhones by kids. So every kid on average demands 5 iPhones per year. Don't ask me why 5, but that's just the way it is. Again, future research, etc. Can always say in every paper, future research, whatever we don't want to deal with, future research, sure. Okay, so, and it's perfectly inelastic. They would pay any price. Again, it's not they're not the one who pay, so it's not a surprise that the price doesn't affect them, they're inelastic. Okay, so luckily enough they want a lot of iPhones, but not that many of other goods. And so this is the demand curve for broccoli. So those in the back, I'm going to enlarge it for you if you don't see. So it's just, zero. So that's the market demand, right? The aggregate demand, the total demand of all the kids in the world for broccoli is just zero. Luckily, well, we don't want them to starve, so they would eat 1 tomato a year per kid. However, when we talk about broccoli, the demand curve, again, perfectly inelastic always, but it's negative, a negative demand, even, what's that? So they're actually willing to pay someone else to consume the zucchini for them, right? And how are they going to pay? Again, from the money that we give them, and that leads us to the end of our talk. So that was a short review for this, growing field of research. And what about adults? We talked about kids, and it's a great area for future work. What about the adults economy, maybe? So remember, from the kids' perspective, we, the adults, we're all dead in the long run, right? In the long run, we're all dead. So thank you very much. You've been a great audience.